somebody said Maximilian. You seen the Maximilian video, Cam?
No, I didn't.
When he was talking about like the Game Awards.
Did it get nominated?
It's a good video.
Game of the year?
Huh?
Was God of War nominated?
Yeah,
Okay.
God of War got nominated.
Of course it was nominated.
It's not gonna win. And before we just talk about how great of a game God of War is, right? I would say this, like for the Game of the War, for the Game of the shout out to the Game Awards in general, because it went from something nobody cares about to motherfuckers actually see it. Like, hey, who gonna win Game of the Year?
Everybody cares about this thing. Like it's like life or death. Like if their game doesn't get chosen, the game's existence.
And then I think there's one fuck up that they made, and that's putting Sifu in the fighting game.
Yeah, that was weird. Category. When I saw that, I was like,
I wasn't a fighting game.
Makes no sense. But other than that, like, you could tell it's a lot of gamers in the room. Because, Cam, I'm pretty sure you did not think Xenoblade Chronicles
bro, that shit, I cannot tell you how happy I was, right? Now, I don't give a fuck about the Game Awards. I don't. I joke about, like, me caring. But, like, realistically, even though Xenoblade Chronicles got Game of the Year, I know it's not gonna. It got nominated. I know it's not gonna win. It's gonna be Elden Ring. I know for a fact it's gonna be Elden Ring. I know for a fact it's gonna be Elden Ring. It's gonna be basically, what was it? This is basically gonna be part 2 of the Last of Us Part 2 Game Awards. Whenever that shit happened and that game just sweeped it.
It was sweeping.
I don't think Elden Ring gonna.
The year when Red Dead came out, that was a nasty. It was just sweeping everything.
I don't think it's gonna. So this is how I believe it's gonna go. Right, it's gonna go the route of like an Oscar, and how some movies will win everything except for best
film
movie. It'll win everything. It'll win best screenplay. It'll win best art design, best sound design, best narrative, best drama. But it will never win best film.
Even have the best actor in the.
God of War is going to win Best Adventure Game. It's going to win Best Accessibility. It's going to win Best This. It's going to win everything it was nominated for, except for probably music and Game of the Year. But Max said it best in the sense of, and that's my take on it too. That's my whole take on God of War itself, right? That God of War 2 is a lot like Doom Eternal to Doom 2016, in which it took a really good game and made it extremely better. And you already had wherever you rated it, it's like putting some extra credit on your homework, right? God of War Ragnarok is literally I replayed and Cam replayed, finished God of War 1 not too long ago. And if you played like God of War 1 recently and then you come into Ragnarok, you can see how much of the leaps and climbs they made throughout the game. So if you feel like God of War 1, like I feel like God of War 1 was a 8.99 game for me, right? Depending on how I feel that day, right? God of War Ragnarok is a fucking 10 for me just because they added on to what great it is, right? How great it is, right? Elden Ring, even though you can still say the same fact for it, was more of a cultural thing, right? When we look back on Elden Ring, it would be a cultural thing. Now, if we get Elden Ring Rise of the Windbreaker 2 or some shit like that, we would say the same thing of like, whatever game Elden Ring is going to go up against, Elden Ring 2 not going to win because we already played it. Elden Ring is a fantastic game. And it deserves, the praise for what it was at that time it came out, right? February felt like fucking 2 years ago.
That's why I was shocked that Horizon got nominated for Game of the Year. I was like, that's
I don't. Somebody paid something
with Elden Ring,
but somebody literally played them for the Horizon. Nobody remembers Horizon because of February and what came out that year, that month. But from a guy who platinum Horizon in like 3 days, this is an okay game. Game of the Year? Of course not. I'm surprised I ain't see Last of Us take a spot. But a game is definitely a game. Now, back to what the Game of the Year thing with Elden Ring. It's going to win just because we will look back on Elden Ring and see how, for the niggas who didn't put as much hours in as us, for niggas who paid it casually, you will see how much fun the game was and things of that nature.
It was a new experience.
It was a new experience. Even though it was all the Souls games put together.
Yeah,
it was still a new experience.
Like this, because this is the game. This Elden Ring was basically Persona 5.
Yeah,
it's essentially
it was the penultimate.
It was Persona 5, whereas Persona 5, if you fucking put in 700 plus hours, 300 plus hours into Persona 3 and 4 like I have, same shit.
Yeah.
But for a lot of newcomers, this was a completely new experience into something that they probably never would have expected to play, like Persona 5.
And it was the best. They did their job of making a game for hardcore fans be so casual to access.
Yeah.
Which a lot of games can't do. Like a lot of games, unless you butcher what makes it hardcore for a hardcore fan base, it's very hard. Like you go to a bullet hell game, you can't say Day Trail, go play this bullet hell game. I'm playing that shit.
Right.
Or same thing, you can't make a 2K nigga. I mean a non-2K nigga play 2K. I ain't playing that. But they made a lot of non-Souls
people play the game.
Me, I know a lot of people that's fond of the Souls genre play it. So
and platinum it,
and platinum it. Shout out to them niggas. Now to talk about God of War, the reason God of War is better than that game.
Oh, for sure. I'll tell you this right now. I've played God of War 10 times over before I ever touch Elden Ring again.
The reason God of War is better than that game, the narrative, the voice acting, the world you can flip on a coin. Who cares? It's the same world from God of War 1, but expounded. The sound design, nigga, if you hear me talk about sound design when I'm talking about a video game, that shit is fire. I don't care about no damn sound design. I'm in a party half the time. But the sound design, bro, what else? It's so combat. Good. The combat is really good. Unless you plan on give me God of War, then you can nitpick the fuck out that combat.
Oh yeah, disclaimer, me and Ditcher both played on Give Me Balance. So for all you hardcore gamers TM, sorry.
Yeah, my other homie Kim, he playing on Give Me God of War. Look, he's streaming on Twitch as Swiper. I can't spell it how the way he spell it because it's very hard. Well, Swiper with the 3_1. Watch this. That shit is hilarious.
My man's
watching niggas play this game on Give Me God of War. You think if you have fun with this combat, you got to learn how to play this game completely different. But just the exploration of this game, they expounded. I would say the biggest thing they expounded on this game is characters that's not Kratos or Atreus. So many characters have life. Sindri has more character than
Holy shit.
No, hey, look, just off to where I'm at now, I like Sindri more.
Yeah. Hold on to that thought.
Please do.
Oh shit.
Please do.
Brock.
Oh shit.
Brock is probably my favorite of the dwarves.
Low key.
Well, Brock was already cool. Brock has some solid ass moments in this game.
Brock has some solid ass lines.
Oh yeah.
That nigga's funny. That nigga was funny, bro. Mimir is still just really great character unless he's telling you what to do in the boss fight. Freya, good character. The Aesir, all of them, great job.
You haven't gotten to it yet, Chris, but Sif.
No, remember Chris is the non-spoiler nigga, bro. So you can say whatever you want to say.
Sif is. There's gonna be spoilers in this. Sif is bad as hell, bro. I usually don't go too crazy when it comes to gaming females, bro. But when I first saw her, I had to take a screenshot. I was like,
man, sat there. I
like that boy. Thor got a W. G.
Pick him, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Thor got a W, bro.
But even the different the different way that the game goes out. They play now. Look, let me tell you something. From niggas who watch anime, we know how that type of story goes. But for people who don't watch anime, the Fate story, and I'm not talking about anime to Fate, but having a story that revolves around Fate is very good storytelling if you do it right.
Yeah.
Right? If you do it right. If you know how
to do it wrong,
you
become a shonen anime.
Yeah, you become so. If you know how to do it right, like trying to rewrite what Fate has set for you is really, really good. This game has a lot of similarities to God of War 3 on a God of War fan aspect of like Kratos. Kratos fought a lot with himself in this game. And the thing about that, you don't hear Kratos talk a fucking lot. But you can tell by some of the times he talked with Namir and some of the times he talked with Atreus about like, look, the shit I did in God of War 3, I don't want to do that to another world.
He knows it's coming.
he was like, what I did. And I think Namir and Odin is the only two people know the exact carnage that Kratos did to fucking Greece. Like he destroyed this place, right? You get to learn more about Kratos and why he's not. A lot of people had a problem why he's not young Kratos, and a perfect line that he had with Freya in the forest is like Freya like basically saying, you don't understand me. You don't understand how it feels to lose. He was like, look, I do understand. I lost one. She was like, there was somebody other than Atreus. He was like, yeah. And guess what? I killed them. I killed them. I murdered them in cold blood. And ever since then, I was never the same. So he's like, I know what you're going through. Nigga, I did way worse.
You did way worse. That nigga lost his homeland, nigga. Like,
because of him.
He destroyed the world off of his own mistake. So, but Kratos is more expressional. Like, if you, I would definitely say go for like collectible hunting and shit like that to at least exhaust the dialogue of Namir, Kratos, and Freya and Atreus.
Particular between Mimir, Freya, and Kratos. Those three in particular have a lot of good funny ass dialogue.
It's a lot of good shit. Namir trying to make Kratos laugh at every step. Succeeded.
He did. He got him on a chuckle. He's like, oh, I made him laugh.
Yeah. Kratos is the most funniest deadpan nigga in video game history, bro. And I know a lot of people have this, I miss the old Kratos to fuck him and get the red orange Kratos. But I'm like, anybody can be that character.
Yeah.
I like this Kratos like way better, bro.
I love
it's a mature, bro. He's like an inmate who legit got his shit together. Exactly.
Except for, the hotel and think he a real Israelite or some shit like that. But like, in this game, Kratos is by far the best character.
Oh yeah,
they did a lot with Atreus, but Atreus is still young. But they did a lot with him.
He had some moments that made me want to like get the belt on him.
Yeah, the runaway moment had me like, nigga, what? When Kratos came through that door after Atreus came,
yeah, he's like,
bro, imagine you walking through a door, you run into Kratos' chest. Like, what you supposed to do? I think that feel like you ran into a brick wall. Just straight, man. But Kratos was an amazing character. This game was amazing. Odin was an amazing antagonist.
You know what's crazy, bro? They managed to actually MCU him, but made him good. Cause like I swear to God, Odin felt like MCU. Like his character felt like they took an MCU script and was like, okay, we can make him funny, but we don't have to make him Thor, Love and Thunder funny, which is bad.
But what they did better than, like, say for instance, other adaptations of the Aesir or like, Norse mythology. Basically he is a fucking liar. Like, but Odin is like, if you think somebody's a good liar, Odin is above that, right? Because Odin talk like everything is all good. As he talking to Atreus, he's like, don't worry, bro. Everything gonna be straight. You ain't gotta worry about none of this. But everybody around Odin is like, this nigga an asshole. But we can't do shit because he's the Allfather.
It's like Atreus. Don't trust him.
I'm
gonna trick him.
The mini stories, right? Like the Thor mini story and his the small glimpse of what we get from Thor is good. Man, Thor's around a lot, but he's kind of like Kratos in which he doesn't talk a lot, just talk shit.
That nigga was talking cash shit in that fight.
Oh yes, that fight was talking. He was talking cash. He called Kratos a dumbass a couple times.
That was a dumbass moment though when he fucking dropped the hammer. When he dropped the hammer behind him and then Kratos was like, he tried to run for him. He's like, dumbass.
But again, I just think like this game, it took perfection. That's hard, bro. Like I don't think people forget about it because people think God of War 1 was so great, which it was, right? People don't know how hard it is to make a sequel in fucking video gaming, bro. It's hard. Like there is coming up on 16 Final Fantasies within the main timeline, right? All of them hoes not bangers. It's hard, bro. It's hard. Like imagine we asked Cam a whole episode dedicated to explaining the Kingdom Hearts shit.
Oh shit!
It's hard.
Don't do that to
hard. It's hard. Like even though I like the game, niggas swear up and down Last of Us 2 is a shit game. It's hard to make sequels, bro, because you have to live up to greatness. As much as people was jerking off Last of Us 1, Last of Us 2 is an extremely similar game in that aspect. It's hard to make sequels. You just can't say, look, here go a sequel, flat out. Not the case. I think it's harder to make a video game sequel than it is a movie sequel.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's way harder.
Because if you
because there's so much, especially if you made greatness, right?
Yeah, if you strike gold, if you strike like Persona 5, right? You take something like Persona 5. Persona 6 is going to be viewed with such a fucking microscope. It's going to be crazy, bro. Because Persona 5
it picked up new fans.
The longer you take, the worse it gets.
Oh yeah, especially
Final Fantasy 15 was in the worst possible position because it took years. It took years to come out. So when it finally came out, niggas was like, "This better be fire," and it wasn't as fire as it should have been when it first came out. So it got ran through the fucking mud. And even though that's my favorite game of all time, I could look at it and be like, I understand. Hell yeah. Like,
we waited 11 years for that game, bro.
Yeah, exactly. 11 years. You should come out with perfection. Like, and now, from niggas who liked 15, like me, I'm going to look at 16 and be like, niggas who played 7, who 7 was probably their first Final Fantasy game.
Remake 2.
Remake part 16. And remake part 2 like this. Better be
Kingdom
fire.
Hearts 3 to Kingdom Hearts 4. Like, it's like...
Yeah. Kingdom Hearts as a whole.
Hey, look, bro, I'm going to keep it real right now. For you niggas, look, I don't know the Kingdom Hearts story, so I'm just saying it for my homies who do know. Guess what? Ain't no excuse. PlayStation made it free. You get up in there, you get down in the
you get down. Every single Kingdom Hearts game is now free, bro, on PlayStation. G, y'all ain't got no excuse.
You get down in that gritty, and you get the understanding. Okay, niggas like me ain't gonna do that. Niggas like me gonna pull up a wiki. But if you wanna,
I'm telling you this right now, that wiki ain't gonna help you this year. But good luck.
Gee, just wiki, bro.
You think I'm looking at a wiki to get understand? I'm looking at a wiki for names. I don't know none of these niggas. Gray hair, dark skinned man with beard. Alright, cool. I know who folks is. Bald head folks. Alright. All I nigga, my only niggas I know, Sephiroth, he ain't even from that fucking franchise. Sora, Daffy, Mickey.
It's Donald.
I mean, oh shit, Donald. Fuck. Fuck. You know what I'm saying? I don't know none of them. I barely know the duck. That's crazy. But back to God of War, so character. I just want to say it's a perfect game to me, bro. Platinum. I took 2 days off of that, and I was thinking to myself, like, 2 days off kind of wild. I should have took 3. I should have took 4. I should have took a week. Oh, I should have said my heart was hurting. I can't come to work for the week.
My heart was hurting.
Like it was so good. And I just want to say this. The ending panel of Kratos opening the book thing is the best scene in that game.
Man, it was so good.
It is the best because if you know God of War, see, Chris used to game back in the time of God of War 3, so he can understand this, right?
Before he was washed.
You know how bad Kratos fucked up his world and how fucked up he feels for fucking up his world. Like, Kratos feels horrible for what he did to Greece. He don't talk about it as much, but he killed himself because of it. Even though he didn't know he had a curse on which he can't die, by the way. So anybody think Kratos killed himself as a plot hole? Kratos got like 6 curses on his body, and one of them is he can't kill himself by suicide. So, now Kratos opened that thing and saw a picture of him being worshipped by the people of Midgard, and that nigga broke down.
That nigga
broke down.
We saw Kratos. We didn't see a tear roll down, but we saw him.
I don't think he could cry. So
yeah, we saw him get a mud. Like, this is like a moment where it's like, holy shit, because you don't see it. Like, we saw a lot of sides of Kratos that you don't see. We saw Kratos being like he's a good father, but like a caring, like, I'm actually showing affection for you, Atreus.
The amount of times he hugged Atreus in
yeah,
the game,
like
that's way more than he hugged him.
Even in the dialogue, it was one where he said, where Atreus asked, "Why you don't do Spartan training with me?" Like, nigga, because I care about.
It's not even that. He doesn't call him boy. He calls him Atreus.
He's literally been Atreus this whole game. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, nice little detail.
There's only one time he calls him boy. That's because he fucks up. But
that's expected.
But he calls
the fucking scene when he told Atreus about fate is not because it's going to happen, because it had to happen, or some shit like that. But like both, like, throughout the game, it's a misunderstanding between Atreus and Kratos.
Yeah.
About they both. I didn't know that Atreus didn't know Kratos saw him dying on that.
No, he walked away.
Prophecy. So they both didn't know that they each saw it, right? So Atreus don't want to tell Kratos. When Kratos don't believe in fate anyway, so I don't understand why he give a fuck. But Atreus didn't want to show Kratos that, look, bro, it says that you die in Ragnarok. But Kratos already seen it, and notice Kratos still
I don't care.
Didn't give a fuck.
He said my only concern is that you're safe.
Yeah. So he said, look, death can have me when it earns me.
Shit was
so, but again, fantastic story. This is for Chaos.wav, this is a 10 out of 10 game. I'm probably going to rehash my top 5. I want to meet with Cam. We do our own game awards and things of that nature, or like tier list. That'll be probably easier to show on the screen or something like that. Maybe a tier list or something about the best games that came out this year. There's gonna be a bunch of honorable mentions of shit we didn't play, but we're gonna give a nod to.
That we played, but we didn't beat.
We didn't beat. It's gonna be I'm slandering a lot of stuff because I bought some things. But lastly, it's a great game. Now I say this a lot, but I'm gonna say it this time for the last time. If you own a PS5, grab this game. This is not a missable type thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You're going to be one of them people who missed out. You don't want to be one of them people who missed out. You know, that's how you become Chris and don't game no more.
Wash.
Chris, we haven't had a podcast in about a month. You going to catch this non-gaming slander. It's going to happen. So, get this game, bro. Experience this game. If you can't beat it, I understand. People got lives. People can't take off work as much as me and Cam can to play a fucking video game. I understand that. But play it and understand it at least. Mind you, there's so much shit in this game when you beat it. Like I don't even know. Cam, did you go to like the fucking Niflheim jail yet?
No.
That's the thing. And then you find another character in that game. You'd be like, what the fuck?
There's so much stuff to do for this platinum. Like it's like a lot of like shit to do. It's an easy platinum, but it's a lot of shit to do.
Also, honorable mentions to the Berserker fights. You niggas are crazy. You got war devs are fucking insane. in every way possible.
That's definitely FT.
Are the Berserkers the new Valkyries?
Yes. And they are harder.
Look, way worse.
Look, G, I fought 2 Valkyries on the first one. Fuck them.
I think the thing they do different with this one is put like way more elemental on this shit.
Yes.
Because it's more elements in this game, right?
Yeah.
And then they fuck around and just throw niggas at you. Like, it's a Berserker fight where you fight 3 motherfuckers, and it's unbearable at times. So
it's the fucking worst design.
And then the Berserker King, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy whatsoever. But Cam, you can give your review. I'm still here. I'm gonna mute myself because other Cam is about to see the tier betrayal, and I gotta see his reaction for this.
Oh yeah.
I gotta see his reaction. It's so good.
That shit fire. But I don't got much to say. Like the trail said, I think the game is really great. Like I think I've said this on the podcast before, but I just recently beat the first God of War this year because like it took like.
Literally a month before the game came out.
Yeah,
I think the last time recorded.
I played the game. I played God of War and then I stopped playing it because I'm like I said, I'm the type of person where like if another game comes out that I want to play, I play that game, and if I don't get back to the other game, it's backlogged. And God of War was backlogged. It wasn't bad by any means necessary. It's just me. But yeah, I finished the original God of War, and I'm actually glad I finished it this year because. That ending sucked. I hated it. I know it's supposed to be some deep meaning or whatever, but like scattering the ashes and they're like, well, Fimbulwinter's here.
Mission accomplished.
Like, this shit sucked. I was like, this shit is garbage, bro. I was like, I'm so glad I did not finish this game until I knew that like, you know, Ragnarok was coming out.
You get a legit sequel. Yeah. So, like, it made sense, but it was like...
Because I was like, man, if I played this game and beat it the year it came out, bro, I definitely would have had a lot of slander for it. But I very much enjoyed my time with this game. It's like what Persona 5 Royale was to Persona 5. It took an already good game and like made elements that made it better. The gameplay is much more intuitive. It's much more like in your face action. There's a lot more mechanics to your buddy system to make the fights a little bit more dynamic as far as how you approach them. And they've added more game mechanics to like the axe and also the Blaze of Chaos, where like if you hold triangle, you get like
I love that. I love that.
Stuff like that.
Love that
that's really good. They added this amulet accessory that you can like customize. I don't know if you got that yet, Chris, but it's basically no, you haven't gotten that yet. But basically, it's an amulet where you can like customize different accessories from the different realms to like buff up Kratos and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff in the game. Because I know a lot of people aren't fans of the RPG aspect of God of War, but I think they did a lot to improve on what they did in 2018. So yeah, story was fantastic. Like it kept me glued to my seat. I didn't play any other game until I beat God of War, and I was like, yeah, I wanna see where this is going. The relationship between Kratos and Atreus was really great. Seeing Kratos be like an actual, like seeing Kratos show emotion was like really good in this game, because there are a lot of moments where he like is legit vulnerable with Atreus, and you don't really see that side of Kratos often, especially in 2018 God of War. You barely see that shit there. So it's cool. The stuff with Freya as well, she becomes a really solid character later on in the game, like one of my favorites. The relationship between Kratos and Mimir as well, you can like tell there's like a good brotherly bond between the two. Like it's good. Everything is solid throughout the cast of characters. A strong cast, strong story, strong narrative. Shout out to that Black Queen that Atreus meets. That boy, when I tell you that boy was stomped, he was like, listen, bro. He's like, he didn't know it was such thing as black girl magic until he met old girl. And you'll see Chris when you get to that part. That boy Atreus, when I tell you that boy becomes smitten with her the second he meets her, like he's like, oh shit. I never
Black
felt
Lives do matter.
That boy Atreus is like, I've never felt like this before in my life. And then there's again, like I said, there's spoilers in here. I'll make sure to put that in the beginning of the video. There are spoilers for the God of War game if you haven't beat it yet. But he does meet Thor's daughter, Thrud, and you can tell that she kind of got a little thing going for Atreus as well. So I don't know.
Atreus
if we get
got hoes. Let's go.
I'm saying, bro, that boy going a bit too crazy. So if we do get another game, because I don't know if we get another game. The way the game ended, there is room for more. So I don't know if this. I don't think this is the last. But if we do get another game, I wouldn't mind it being more Atreus focused than Kratos focused. Because the game did a good job of making me really like Atreus, his potential combat, his potential storyline as far as what he's trying to do and accomplish in this world. So it's all good in that angle. So yeah, this game is easily a 10 out of 10 for me as well. The really only gripes that I have about the game is that sometimes there are certain parts of the game that go along a little bit too long. Like some of the Atreus focused missions overstay their welcome a little bit. It's kind of like, okay, can we get back to Kratos? And then, like I said, there are some parts where like the Berserker graveyard fights, those are like, okay, you've been telling me to play the game a certain way for like the past 20 hours. You want me to throw that all away for this particular encounter? It's just bad game design on that angle. So, yeah, a lot of improvements. Solid cast, solid story. OST is fire. Yeah, can't go wrong. I'd say if you got the money and you have a PS5, it's completely asinine how you haven't played this game yet, unless you just don't like these type of games from like a gameplay perspective. But this is the game that like you get a PS5 for. You get a PS5 to play God of War Ragnarok. God bless your soul if you played this on your PS4. Good luck with
hey,
that.
where Chaz at, man? hey, get that.
God bless you if you played this game on your PS4, bro.
Hey, Daytro, get Chaz over here so he needs to explain how his PS4. Matter of fact, tell us how it sounds in the house right now. We need to know.
Because that's a different type of beast.
That's a different demon
to be running. But yeah, that's all I gotta say on God of War.
Yeah, I'm gonna be quick. Like everything you guys are saying, like I'm not as in it as you guys are, but yeah, from the way my life is right now, I really don't have time for games, but I make forth the effort. I don't care if it is a 31-hour session, even though like Saturdays is I can get caught up by I'm doing too much adventuring, but I legit do love this game. Like I legit do have a love for the game because the first one I love. That was arguably my favorite PS4 game ever. Like it's up there. So for me, I had to put time. I don't care. I was. And overall, like they polished up and added on to a lot of the gameplay elements. Story-wise, I expect great story. But it's just, I really love how they just added on to what was already amazing to me. And I have to give Sony their props for it. Even with, I like how just the accessibility stuff makes the game a little easier in certain aspects for the collectibles. Primarily the crows, because I didn't give a fuck about those crows in the first game. But the fact that I could find them easier because you could set it where it's like, oh, it's this way. And it's like, oh, that makes it easy for me to collect them now because you made it easy. Because I'm searching for 15,000 other things in this world. But overall, like I like how they make the accessibility controls make it a little bit more easier to do the collectibles. Gameplay wise, amazing. Story wise, voice acting, everybody's on point. Everything's on point. I'm looking forward to just my time with the game in itself. But definitely, they dang near perfected an already amazing game. So shout out to Sony. Keep doing what y'all doing.
And Santa Monica Studios.
Yeah, Santa Monica Studios. Like they always on point. And I wouldn't be shocked that they do trilogy this. Like they're gonna find a way to trilogy this game. This version of God of War. So